Namaskar.
Namaskar. My name is Rajatakrishna, and I am from Argentina.
And tell us why you got initiated and how you became involved with Ananda Marga.
I actually, those days in 1987, I was in actually contact Ananda Marga here in Argentina, in one state called Córdoba, in the interior part of the country. And in those days, I used to play some basketball in Uruguay. And so I got initiated into yoga before Ananda Marga. But I got some more interest, after some mystic experiences, which were like kind of, in dreams and things like that before Contact Baba,
Can you
So
say?
I think I have a dream. I have a Baba's dream before it. And then after a little bit, I meet the Acharya, I meet the Acharyas in Cordoba. And at that time, I got initiated. It was in middle of 1987, I think. Yes.
Can you tell us about that dream, the mystical dream of Baba?
Oh, yes. I was, when we had a break from the team, from the basketball team, and we went with a friend to a farm, which is a family was friend of them in the interior part of Uruguay. At the time I was living in Uruguay. My parents both are from Uruguay. And then it's a small country across Argentina here, which is a neighbor country. And then what happened is that one night over there was a full moon night, I remember. We went to walk. And then we were doing something through books, yoga and some kind of meditation, things like that, some kind of diet like that. For those days, because we had some interest. My friend, he was already touring Europe before, and I mostly has experience here, in Argentina and just Uruguay. I didn't know any other country at those days. And then, so there that night we went to the tent where we were staying in the tent, in the little forest there, which was quite nice, very nice place. I started the dream, and in the dream appeared one of those swamis, because in Montevideo, in the capital of Uruguay, I used to see some talks, from those kind of, swamis from yoga centers and things like that to learn more, when they were coming to visit. So it was quite similar, but he has a characteristic, which was using these glasses, on his eyes. So then touch me like this little bit, on the dream, and then I have the experience feeling like blissful, kind of the void, Then I wake up, it was in the night, 3, 4 in the night. And then I'm thinking about who must have been that, And then my friend came back afterwards. It was an interesting place. I said, maybe it's not coming to this kind of, interview particularly, but it was a place which has a lot of mystic story, that farm, the Aurora farm there in Uruguay. But maybe I can tell another time. But after this, I came straight to Argentina to visit some friends in Córdoba. From there, I went there. And then there was one brother, Pramil, from Chile, that he was studying at this time there, to become an architect. And then I saw a little booklet on the top of his table, his drawing table. And this it was a progressive utilization theory, was a small booklet of approach. And then I got some, attraction to this little book. And then he told me, I have some friends that they also do yoga like you, I'm doing some meditation, because I was practicing already sanasanas and a little bit of the Om mantra and things like that. And then I was already trying to, inspire them to meditate. But I didn't know yet Ananda Marga. So he took me one day to visit. And then nobody was there at this time in this charity. At that time, there was not a farm here, the big master unit, not yet. No, Ananda Marga has no property except in Buenos Aires in those days. But the place was quite interesting. I see one person draw in the entrance of the house, meditation drawing, on the wall. And then he told me, okay, nobody's there. Let's go to some friends of mine. He said, that they already know this yoga group. So we went there. Actually, they were quite relatives, family relatives of him. Mohan and his wife at this time, and that place. It was the first time in my life that they introduced me to Bhavanam Kevalam, mantra, to our important chant that means love is all there is. So then they told me there will be some monks and nuns that are coming to give a course a few weekends from now. If you are here, you are invited to come. So then I went the last day of the seminar. And then at that time there was there Dada Lilananda, and then Falashudananda, there was at this time was Dada Falgudeva Brahmachari. And when I entered the place in Cordoba, this day, there was rented Shagriti. So they were already doing Sankirtan, And then I had this chance to enter the place. It was one brother from Colombia, Shandet, that took care of me and made me go into the room. And then I seen collective kirtan for the first time like that. And then I joined, and I have this kind of experience at this time, listening some songs and things like that with open eyes, things like that. And then when everybody sat down, I seen this photo in the puja table, and then there was the Swami of the Dream over there. So then I got, curious to find out more, and when everything was over and they were sharing some food there, I talked to Dada Lilananda. It was the first one I talked from Italy. So Lilananda, she told me that, you should talk to Dada, which is in charge in this region, was Falgudeva. It was at this time he was regional secretary for this Mendoza region, which is the north part of Argentina. So then Falashudananda, she gave me a mantra, and then he told me, if you wait for me, we'll go to Brazil. I said, I don't know if I can. I had to go back to play, I have some contract, and I had to do my work over there in Uruguay. But then somehow through the days, I managed to wait and stay there. And then we went to Brazil with Dada. And then from there, never come back, From there, I stayed full time, it was Baba's mission. Because I feel strong, the call direct, from Baba, And most that, of course, all the beautiful inspirational thing of these Margis these days and the Acharyas, my thing was direct with Baba, I was having to meet him sometime personally too. So that's why I decided to live it up, my basketball, we can say, life, career, and stayed at Ananda Marga. This time from this retreat, we went to alphabetic training in nearby Porto Alegre, which is today's our retreat center there in Biamao, in Porto Alegre, which has a lot of projects there. Amud has 5-6 schools, and it has a lot of social service projects. Ananda Marga is quite popular in Porto Alegre. So from those days was the beginning of all this, with some really great Margis, like Sudama over there, and Tapeshwar, that were taking care of us, and the first Dada that gave us the first alphabetic training there in Porto Alegre. From ending the alphabetic training, actually I went to Sao Paulo, and then Dada Tapeshwarananda, this time we was there, that already passes away some years ago. And he was very, very, I just said, kind and caring, And I explained him because at this time there was one American Dada that he was working here in Buenos Aires, and somehow I meet him sometime before, and he was wanting to me to come to Buenos Aires. But I said, Buenos Aires is like my home. I was before there, so please, Dada, arrange for me to go there. Otherwise, I would get attracted to going to see my friends and things like that. And then Dada Tapeshwar Ananda, he organized for me to Paraguay and work with Dada Anish Ananda. Today he works in Europe still. So there we did some nice work, by Baba's grace. We got the Jagriti there. Actually, the beginning we were a rented place. We have a small restaurant and yoga classes and things like that. And then at that time there was an interesting thing happening in Paraguay. Baba was wanted some special palms, from Paraguay, dutia palms, these big palms for the coconut. Baba was wanted for Ananda Nagar, and so he asked him for another aquatic plant at those days, direct, from India. They called Sao Paulo, and they contact us. It was the sectorial office from the sector, from city sector is in Sao Paulo these days. So I have some very blissful experiences there in Paraguay. Then the time come after a few years, when those days the people were going more often to India. I remember, because Baba was there and there was, had to go for reporting, the Dadas, the Didis, and there was the beginning also is a mission in somehow, in some part here in South America. They were the pioneers, in those days still, of establish more projects, and getting more properties, for the mission here in South America. So we had it really, a very nice flow those days. And then things were happening anyway in India, and with the local dramas, political and economical and things like that. But always, by Baba's grace, we always used to somehow moving forward. So in 1990, Dada says at this time, Nirgunanandaji, he told me, now you have to go to meet Baba, and then you have to go to Acharya training, he said, And then I said, okay, Dada, so how I do? Okay. There was in Buenos Aires when he told me that. I was doing some work for them those days, some finances and things like that around here, Argentina and Uruguay. And then Dada said, when you come back to Sao Paulo, to the office there, you just get your ticket and go to India. And then I will guide you what to do next. So then I went there, and then we leave for India around 3 months before October 1990. So we went to see Chandrasekhar and Mahadevi from Tucumán here, from another state of northern Argentina, and another sister, I don't remember her name, from Uruguay. 3 of us, we were LPTs, so we all going there to meet Baba there in Calcutta. So we reached Delhi, very different place, those days, I know that India is now a little different, infrastructure is a little better, but in those days, for me was like, adventure, total adventure, to be in there in India. So I remember even one small story in Delhi, the rickshaw got lost because I was having to go from one place. Didi sent me to another place, where there was some place that Dada has. So somewhere outside Delhi, and then the rickshaw broke on the way. And then the guy went down and, arranged with another rickshaw, and they divided the only money I have at this time, the only rupees I have. And the other guy, he somehow took a long time, but he took me to the place, And I was looking into these things, a lot of cows on the street, and the people going on the procession with somebody that, things like that. I was very, very different to what I used to see around, Argentina, Brazil, even Uruguay, So we used to live in these cities, and then, somehow the infrastructure was quite a little bit already established. But I used to see also some problems in different areas, around South America, but never like I see at that time over there. But anyway, the focus was to meet Baba over there in Calcutta, So we took a train, and then in this trip also was quite, long trip to Calcutta, from Delhi to Calcutta, and the cheapest train at those days it was available, So then we have that experience. We went with sisters and one dada. I remember one dada, he was already posted here to South America. And he was very young boy. And then it was quite nice to us. And then we reached Calcutta, also very interesting, like to see all the things at those days in Tilchala, And Baba was, I think, recently, on the clinic. He was first time checking, on the doctors, over there. And he was about to come back. And that was the way we were making drama every day. Oh, Baba will come back. And then it was not happening. I remember several times until the day that Baba came back. It was a few days after we reached there. And then it was quite interesting to see everything what was going around Baba those days. So it's still, everyone was united and everyone was like working, together for Baba. It was an incredible, flow and vibration and share with the brothers, from all over the world. Sometimes they used to come to sing for Baba over there. And I already play guitar, from childhood. For me, the kirtan was kind of going into the flow. When I come to Ananda Marga, I already know how to play the guitar because I played the guitar all my life. So, and then the kirtan was kind of one of my, favorite practice. I always try everything, all the sadhana and everything, but particularly afterwards, the kirtan always was quite blissful, and with Baba presence also over there, and we had all the opportunities to see Baba in all the different, situations, giving the talks, Baba giving darshans, general darshans. We see 3 festivals on the road, like there was the Babali, Burga, and Baba talking about these things, Very close because always getting the chance to be in the Tandava group, there was kind of the LFTs, and we are working every week to get into the Tandava group, before the Sunday or before the program. So we were getting closer and seeing from close proximity, some things that we in those days don't understand very well what it is, but we had some very strong attraction and seeing everything was going around, So this was the thing those days, and so happening. There have been happening many experiences those days. Seeing Baba, for example, walking with people that were accompanying him, sanitarians, sometimes some Margis, and people were singing when Baba was giving songs still. Until the last day, Baba gives songs. And then it was quite interesting. I always remember those images, in my mind. I wish I can have some of this actual technology in those days, I was being able to capture many things which was going to be historical. But I did in my mind and some songs and some kirtans. So this was a really blissful time. I didn't understood what I am doing so long time there. So many different little dramas happened to me. I cannot live there, Then I understood why. Because Baba was living. He was holding there, And then the dadas were like telling me, no, you should to come back to Brazil now, go to Delhi, pick up the goods and go back to Brazil. I don't know. I was quite strict and waiting and followed that drama until I had the experience to be there, in the 21 October in 1990 when Baba left his physical form, his physical body. We all know that the Tarka Brahma, the Paramapurush, the Supreme Father, which is for us our Guru, is everywhere, in every place, and every devotee can realize it through sadhana and through devotion. So this was, this is called, in the Ananda Marga mission, is called the personal contact, the PC, in those days.
Yes.
So the Guru was giving some time to his devotees, either margis, either acharyas, persons that were closer to his mission and working for his mission. So in those days I was quite new, I can say it, I was having a couple of 3 years of sadhana. And so I was going to meet with this master that first, like I said in the beginning of the talk, came in my dream on the farm over there in Uruguay. And now I was going to meet him direct, in this, we can say, physical form, in this objective world. So it's quite curious, for me to have this experience. And when I entrance, we were waiting a few brothers outside, and when my time came, Keshavananda, she took me from my hand and dropped me inside of Baba's room. And we have to give the, Sastanga Pranam, which is the salute to the Guru, and then wait for him to start talking. There was instruction. So I stay sitting not very close, actually, just around the same area of the table, of the door, on his room. And then after Baba said several things, start asking the name, asking who initiated me, the name of that person, my acharya, And then I said a few things, and then he called me with his hand, He called me like that and said, you come here, And then I went close, and I stand in my knees in front of Bob, I cannot manage actually such a strong energy and vibration, being in front of the spiritual master, the spiritual Guru. I was having some experience, in the sports, to have the pressure of the, audience, playing sports. Soccer in Argentina, in the school, or afterwards more professional basketball in Uruguay. But I remember, my God, I can hardly, control, anything in these circumstances, in front of Baba those days. And then I stay with my head a little bit, down like this in front of Baba. I'm listening, to what Baba has to say. And then Baba extend his hand, in the dream, in the farm, before meeting Ananda Marga in this. And the dream touched here, in this area, like we can say the Vishuddha chakra, But there, Baba put the hand on my crown, my head, like that. So then like this, I close my eyes and start listening some mantras. Baba repeated some mantras, in Sanskrit. And then the words I listening was, now you are ready. You can leave now. And then I remember that moment, I was such a strong, vibration and energy, I was feeling that I can, conquer the whole universe. I remember that. And then I followed the order, of Baba. And I went around. It was strong, energy moving. Then I went outside, and one that was there asked me a few things, and I said that I can hardly, understand what you said. So, okay, you go do some sadhana there, and then you have the chance to walk anywhere on the garden. And then with the other brothers, after everybody finished his, meeting with Baba, his PC, we walk, I remember, the same area inside the gardens, where Baba used to walk, and we used to see him every day. It was quite amazing, blissful, state, of mind, and for sure, of their life was touching forever, until today, by this Baba's grace, we can say, the Guru's, blessings, direct. And I think for the new generations, what you can get up to this talk, up to this sharing of this experience, is that, the spiritual master, he is everywhere, he is in everything. He was, in the past, he was at this time, when he was here present, and he is right now. This is what I can tell you. Only thing that for this spiritual realization, this deep understanding of these things, which is something really, profound, and we can say also regarding to this spiritual path, which is the tantric path, of spiritual search and realization. We have to practice it. We have to do the meditation, and for sure develop the devotion through the chanting of this universal mantra, the Bhagavad, through kirtan, bhavanam, kevalam. And then I'm sure that everyone will have realized, will have some, spiritual realization if they do it.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.